Okay, hey, this is Miss Hunt. Today I'm going to go over some things that I went on the board. Ooh, sorry. We can exit out of some things here. All right, let me go and try to get my Elmo on this side. Sorry, it's taking a minute. Yay! Okay. So I got my notebook right here. All right, so hopefully you have watched my video of me going over the notes on enzymes, and you've watched the amoeba sister video. So I just wanted to go over a quick review over enzymes. So what are some facts that you know about enzymes? Hopefully you know some things about enzymes. So think about your list. And my warm up today was write down some of the things that you already know about enzymes. All right, so number one, I hope you know that the job of an enzyme, I don't know if you can see that. There we go. Is to reduce the activation energy and, in a sense, speed up a chemical reaction. Okay. All right, what else do you know about enzymes? Do you know that they're a protein? I hope so. Okay. Do you know that they're catalysts? Okay, meaning they start the reaction. All right, what about what they are affected by? Do you know that they're affected by temperature? Do you know that they're affected by pH? And do you know that they're affected by substrate concentration? It's a big word right there. Okay, good. All right, let me draw that funny graph that you've been seeing in the notes and everything. Okay, and let's go through some of that chemistry real quick. Remember, in a chemical reaction, we have reactants yield a product. So basically what I have two reactants that come in, and they need a little energy to get started, and then they yield a product. Okay. So let's make this cellular respiration, because you do it and it's important. All right, cellular respiration. What is the formula? We take in glucose. By this point, you should know what glucose is. C6H12O6. All right, we breathe oxygen and we yield CO2 plus water plus ATP. All right, and in class we've said ATP energy every time we've done it. ATP energy, because it's an energy molecule. So let's think about this way. I start off here with my glucose and my oxygen. By the way, remember glucose, this is a carbohydrate. It's in a 1 to 2 to 1 ratio. My carbohydrate is my sugar. And let's talk about cellular respiration. What organelle does that happen in? Do you remember? All right, you should have picked the mighty mitochondria. Remember, he looks like a bean with a zigzag in it. It's really important for us to know. Remember ATP? That's a nucleic acid. Remember, that's got a phosphate in it. So that kind of gave us a clue there. All right, so, and a protein. Let's go back through that real quick. Remember a protein? What elements are in a protein? Can you remember? Okay, if you pick carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen, then you're good. That is protein. Okay, remember carbon, hydrogen, oxygen is in your carbohydrates and in your lipids. And then right here, we add phosphorus in for our ATP, for a nucleic acid, okay? All right, so I'm going to start off here with my glucose plus oxygen. And this right here, this is called the activation energy. This was the energy needed to start the reaction, all right? And so here, kind of drew the little dot line here, okay? So what an enzyme does, I'm going to change my color here. I don't know if my pens work. I need some new pens. All right. An enzyme comes in and it lowers the amount of energy needed to make a product. Okay. So hopefully you can see that line there. So that orange is my enzyme. So it's come through and it's reduced the amount of energy needed. Wow, it's a lot less. Okay.
Okay, so how many students from Bishop, Robertson, Ramsey, Hollander? That's Hollander, Ramsey, Robertson, Bishop.
We're doing picture day today. So you all virtual kids will come in on a different day and take their pictures. They'll be sending out some information. Okay, so the activation energy is a lot less in my enzyme, and I'm gonna make my product. My product is still gonna be over here, my CO2 plus my H2O and plus my ATP energy. All right, that's the whole goal here. Okay, but let's talk about some things. We said it's affected by pH. So remember this on the pH scale? Let me draw my little pH reminders down here. Okay. All right, remember pH stands for parts hydrogen. Can you remember your pH scale for me? All right, did you put a line of 1 through 14? You put 7 in the middle as our neutral. Okay. All right. You put an acid and then a base. So you'll look at scales and you'll see which pH your enzyme liked best. So you could see a scale like this. Okay, and here we have the pH scale, and here is a 1, and here's a 14, and right in the middle is a 7. And then we have the percent of enzyme activity. So what we could say is, well, right here, it seems to have peaked and gotten the highest right here, and that's at a pH of 7. So whatever this enzyme is, it likes the 7 pH the best. In our stomach, let me fix that light. I hope that's better. In our stomach is really acidic, and it likes a very acidic environment. And so the enzymes work good in an acidic environment in our stomach. But our small intestines are very basic. So if any enzyme was to get into the small intestine, it wouldn't work. It doesn't work at that pH. So it allows a different enzyme to kick in the small intestine and work to do its job in the small intestine. So every enzyme has its own place that it's working. Here in my mitochondria, there's enzymes in here that are speeding up this reaction and breaking it down, but they exist only in the mitochondria, which is in every cell of our body that is breaking this down. But they're still dependent on the pH scale. All right, let's talk about temperature. Okay, temperature, we know that 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit is our normal body temperature. You should also know that 37 degrees Fahrenheit is our normal body temperature. Oh, sorry, Celsius. Erase that. In Celsius. My bad. There we go. Okay, in Celsius is the normal body temperature. So you should go ahead and memorize that. So if you see on the graph that it's 37, probably it's going to be able to work there. Let's talk about some of our kids who have been getting sick and had a fever. Some of my students said they had a temperature of 101 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a fever. So at that point, if their temperature is up high, that means the enzyme doesn't work. If the enzyme doesn't work, that means it's relying on your body to produce this amount of energy to cause the reaction to happen and make the product. Boy, if every cell in your body, everything that happened, every reaction, you had to produce your own energy for it, you didn't have the help of any enzymes, you probably would feel really, really tired. And probably if you've had a fever, you know that you feel really exhausted. Every part of you is tired. And you think about it, you're not doing the reaction, or you're actually asking for your whole body to do the reaction for you. And that's a lot of energy that you're having to come up with. So yeah, your body would be really tired when you have a fever. So your body doesn't work when it has a fever, or when it's too cold. So different things like we talked about in the kingdoms, your archaebacteria like a hot temperature. There was those thermoacidophiles that really like that hot temperature. There was your methanogens, which liked a very acidic environment. So all species are fixed for their pH and temperature that their body likes the best, and their enzymes can work the best at it. All right, so hopefully those are some of the things that we went over in those notes, and we went over on the board today as just a review to kind of go back over some things. Hopefully you know these. If you've not watched the video or the Amoeba Sister video, then you're behind. One more word I should tell you is it's the denature word. If your enzymes get to be too hot, if your enzymes are in the wrong pH, then they become denatured, which means they don't work. Which that reminds me, there was one more thing here. Number 7, our enzymes are reusable. So all the enzymes in your mitochondria that are doing cellular respiration can keep redoing this over and over and over and over again. But if we get a fever and our enzymes get denatured, then we have to make the enzyme all over again. And it's going to take a while for our body to get back. Same thing if our pH changes. If we are eating too much acidic food and our stomach becomes too acidic, our enzymes don't work very well. Also, if I am taking a lot of antacids to buffer my stomach, to reduce my pH in my stomach, if I take too many for too long, my pH in my stomach won't be acidic, and then the enzymes in my stomach won't work. So I could denature them, which would not be very good either. So what I want to do is keep everything in check and have my enzymes be reusable, which means I can use them over and over and over again. All right, that was my quick little review. I hope you guys are having a good day. Talk to you later.